Welcome back to SK Hobbies AZ, and on this episode we're going to give you the final look at the Axial bomber after we got it put back together. So stay tuned. Well, all right, so we did get it back together, and she's looking pretty good. You know, I didn't really do any major upgrades on her, but let's go ahead and let's bring you guys over here and you guys can see what we got. All right, so we got her all back together, and we did put, let's go look here. So we did get that Power Hobbies 729 MBL steering servo in there, and we've got those shocks that I put in the last video. We got them installed. And also, I don't know if you guys can see in there, but you'll see we did put in a, see if we can get a better view of that motor with that shell on. But anyways, we put a Holmes Hobbies Trailmaster 21T, and it's the sport model. We did put that in there. We got the Hobby Wing 1080 ESC put in her. And we got her completely put back together. Now, I did notice when I took apart the differential that they all looked really good. I'm not quite sure I really like this rear end, you know, aluminum or steel, whatever that is, rear end differential, but we're probably going to end up upgrading that and going with a Vanquish rear end, and then this front end right over here, we're going to probably end up upgrading that one too. So we'll and then we're going to upgrade all those links. Now the transmission in here, that spur gear, it's kind of worn. It's still got plenty of life left on it, so we're going to go ahead and leave that in there for now. We are running that 11 tooth pinion that came on it. It seems like it's running pretty good for now, but we are going to eventually upgrade the system to a brushless system, and so stay tuned for that one. But we're also going to be upgrading that spur gear to an all metal spur gear, so we're going to be looking for some options on that. Now this motor plate, see if you guys can see it in there, it is right there. This motor plate, I don't know who makes it, but when we tighten down, there's two screws that go into the top plate, and it's kind of a cylinder piece that you mount the motor on. Now those two screws tighten down, and it's supposed to tighten and hold the motor in place, you know, for when you set your gap to the spur gear. Now the issue with this one is you tighten those screws down, and there is no tightening of it. You tighten it down, and the motor still kind of spins inside of that groove in there. So what I found, and I'm not sure what YouTuber's video I watched on it, but I saw somebody do one with the stock bomber motor mount, but he cut a little piece of rubber band and stuck it underneath that top clamp, and then tightened it down, and it held it in place. We did the same option here and cut a little chunk of rubber band just for that top part of the motor plate there, and tightened it down on that cam, and it tightened it up, and it worked good. So we've already kind of ran this a little bit, so you guys will be seeing a video here with a full run on it, but we're going to put a little footage here at the end of this bad boy running on 3S. We're going to run it a Ovonix 4500 50C 3S pack in here, and so we're going to throw a battery in, and we'll get a little bit of footage of this bad boy ripping around the yard. Stay tuned. All right, so we got a battery in it. One of the other things I wanted to kind of show you guys, I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but let me go ahead and get in there. But if you guys can look, you can see where we mounted the receiver, and you can see that little blue piece right there. That blue piece is a piece of 3D printed skid plate material left over from my my felony, and I ended up trimming that piece into a square and was able to screw it right into the skid plate, and it created a little shelf that I was able to mount the ESC behind that, and we mounted the receiver right in front. And I don't know if we can get a good view of where the ESC is, but you can kind of see, yep, so you can see right through there, you can see the ESC. And then we just mounted the switch right there on the crossbar, so you can just stick your finger up in there and turn it on. So let's go ahead and do that now. We got that done. We're going to be running it on a Spectrum, and you can see it is the SLT3 Spectrum controller. And we're ready to go. But all right, you can see how responsive that servo is. Really responsive. Oh, and we turned over. So we did notice that running this, that we put that sway bar, and you can see back here we got the sway bar installed right here, and with getting that installed, it did help with this whole turning over. But if you still go too fast, I'm about half trigger right now. But let's see if we can give it a rip. Oh, I picked up a feather. Right there, look at that. Picked up a bird feather. But I also wanted to show you guys, run it in grass, it's not the greatest, but I did take it over here and ran it on the crawler course. Get the chair out of the way here. But yeah, it does pretty good on the rocks. I am driving this one-handed. We flipped it over off the wall. But I was going to show you guys, crawling wise, it does do fairly decent. I know it's not a crawler, but, and I don't have the drag brake turned on, but you know, with having these 2.2 wheel 2.2 wheels and rims on it, it climbs over a lot. Just a little big. Now I tried doing this one earlier when I was doing the test drive, and I don't think it's going to make it without falling off, but Let me reposition over here. But it does get a little bit high center right there. And my normal crawlers do it. Let's see if we can bring it up a little bit on the wall side. But we flipped. So it's not going to be a great crawler, but we didn't buy this for a crawler. We bought it to just rip right over the rocks like that. Almost ran myself over. But anyways, that's what we're going to go with for now. And you know, this bomber, you know, I know Axial discontinued it. We'll see if they ever bring it back. Maybe we'll see a V2, but we're enjoying this, and I'm not going to be getting rid of this one. This is going to be a showpiece on the channel. We're gonna update it. We're gonna get some 3S, maybe 4S electronics in it. Probably gonna go with a Holmes hobby system, and we're gonna get ripping with a brushless system here soon. So let me go ahead and bring you guys back up. But all right, you know, don't forget to like and subscribe and bash that bell. I'm Stitch, SK Hobbies AZ, and I'm out.